Right. 1 2 1 2. It's big, yeah. It's very big. It's big. How are we all doing? Welcome to the stream. If you're watching this after I've been live, then sorry, I just got to turn this light on. If you're watching this after I've been live, then welcome. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. If you didn't quite catch me live, I'm going to be going live daily or semi-daily on YouTube throughout the summer during the transfer window, especially on days like today when we've got big news to talk about. It has been some day for Spurs. It's the day that many people have been getting very impatient about. Many people have been waiting to come, and it's finally happened. I say finally. This deal has actually been wrapped up quite quickly, and we're going to talk about Mohamed Kudus. We're going to talk about Yoane Wissa. We're going to talk about Christian Romero. There's a lot of positive stuff to talk about today in this stream. How is everyone doing? Proby, yes mate, Ryan, Law, Ludwig, Peter Gordon, how are you all doing? If you're new, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be doing these lives very regularly throughout the summer. Daily, if not daily, then every few days, especially when there is big things happening. There are big things happening at Tottenham Hotspur. Thomas Franks, White and Blue Army are on the charge. On the charge with Mr. Frank. Like I said, we're going to talk about Kudus, we're going to talk about Wissa, talk about Romero. We're going to talk about some little bits that we didn't quite get to because I couldn't do a live yesterday. I was very busy yesterday, so we couldn't talk about Maxime Esteve. So I want to talk about him as well, even though people have sort of semi-poured like cold water on it a little bit. But we will talk about that and what that actually means and, you know, what we can sort of expect from Spurs' transfer window based on that. But let's get right into it. Who else we've got in here? Conleth, Law, Gary Hunter's in here. How you doing, Gary? Peter Gordon is so Thomas Frank coded. He is indeed, mate. That's 2 first names right there. A bloke with 2 first names. Can you trust a guy with 2 first names? I don't know. You guys tell me. How's everyone's day been as well? Because I've had a good one. I've had a pretty good one, I'm not going to lie. This has been good. Today, I woke up, I recorded a new episode of The Lab, by the way, which is out now, with Flav. 2 episodes over the last 2 days. One of them that we recorded this morning, how Thomas Frank might set up at Tottenham Hotspur. The one we recorded yesterday, how Mohamed Kudus fits in at Tottenham Hotspur. And why do we want him? Just call us the guys that make things happen, really. We make a podcast and then what do we get about 24 hours later? Here we go. Winning the lot, lads, says you. And Archie Parker, how you doing, mate? Jack Woods, how you doing? So we recorded those 2 episodes of The Lab. So make sure to go and listen to them. They're both out now. So then I went into London to do a shoot with the Footballs Online for TNT, which was good. As I was on my way there, I got the Wissa news, which I didn't really expect. So I couldn't make a video on it at the time. I couldn't go live and talk about it because I was on my way into London to do that. So I was thinking about coming home and we can talk about that maybe on a live a little bit later, see what people want to get into. Then as I'm sitting there about to do a North London derby combined 11 with an Arsenal fan from Pochettino's era and Arteta's era, the producer of the show turns around and shows his phone. And what does it say on it? What does it say on his phone? It says this. Exclusive from David Ornstein. Tottenham Hotspur reached total agreement with West Ham United to sign Mohamed Kudus. Deal for the 24-year-old West Ham forward is worth in the region of £55 million. W's in the chat for Daniel Levy? Look, I'm no Levy lover by any stretch of the imagination, but that's a pretty good deal. Medical scheduled on Thursday ahead of Ghana International joining Tottenham on a 6-year contract. Spurs have done it. This deal that has only kind of been in the works, I guess, or not in the works, but kind of in the public knowledge for the last, week or so, week and a bit. People were starting to get so frustrated. I just kept having to kind of tell people on Twitter to calm down. These things don't happen that quickly. You knew we were in negotiations for him. Reports of a bid rejected. Like, people sort of getting a bit wound up. I get it, because I know how... we've seen this film before with Spurs. I was convinced that Chelsea were going to come in and try and hijack this. I really, really was. Because we've been down that path. I was getting big Willian 2.0 vibes from this. I'm not going to lie. But as soon as we got those little whispers on Sunday from Sammy Mockbell, I think it was, and a few other journalists that sort of said, well, Chelsea had interest, but they're not expected to be pursuing it at the time. They're kind of focusing on getting players out of the club. This was Tottenham's chance to strike, and they have struck. And there was reports that 5 or 6 other top clubs were in for Mohamed Kudus, and he only wanted Spurs, which is rare, you know. But his agent has got this over the line. He's got this over the line. It kind of did come out of nowhere today. I didn't expect this today, and I certainly didn't expect the deal to be done for £55 million. Viraj Mystery says for £55 million is a great signing. I think when you look at some of the other wingers and forwards that are on the market that are being sold right now or kind of being touted around, this for a very versatile player who wasn't playing his best football, anywhere near his best football last year. We all know that, and he has to improve last year. But there are circumstances as to why he wasn't playing that best football, in my opinion. West Ham were a mess. He didn't really want to play him in his best position out on that right-hand side. Not getting the best out of him. 2 manager changes. Dreadful, diabolical football. A lot of pressure on Kudus to kind of deliver and be the man, and his teammates not really stepping up. He had to step up as well, and he wasn't good enough ultimately. But there is a gem in Mohamed Kudus, and I think he fits really, really well into what Spurs want to do. Tactically, good age profile as well, a lot of potential there, and he's already got a track record of being able to do it in the Premier League and in Europe for West Ham as well. Ewan Harris says everything we've done since the final has been spot on, in my opinion. I'd agree with that. Signing Tell, signing Kudus, moving on from Ange Postecoglou, which was obviously a hard thing to do, but getting Thomas Frank in. Kudos to Levy for that price, Ludwig says. I like the little pun. And I said it. I don't know how Levy's done this. Bearing in mind, it sounded like our first bid was only around £50 million. They were holding out for 65. They knew they were never going to get the release clause. They just wanted as much money as possible, around 65 million. 55 million, there you go, spread over 3 years. Brilliant stuff. Fair play as a Liverpool fan, says Matty. Think this is a great signing. Didn't he have his best season, but we know what he can do. Exactly. Archie says he's that type of bully we need in the forward area. Make sure to like the stream as well, by the way, guys. And please do subscribe if you are new. Spread the word about these streams as well. Make sure that gets out there and we get people in them. Big night. Big night. Do you think the 55 includes add-ons or not? I'm not 100% sure. Sean, I agree with you about Levy. But praise where it's due. I agree for getting this one over the line. 100%. We need to see more stuff like this. This is a really good one. Kudus' agent is Roof Management, who never wanted to do business with Chelsea. Roof Management is the same agent as Kai Havertz. That's interesting. I knew he had a new agency, which was Roof. Anything concrete on Wissa or no rumours so far? We'll get on to that. Just a few more bits of housekeeping on Kudus. So, obviously, you mentioned Roof there. Medical tomorrow, according to Florian Plettenberg, for Mohamed Kudus. If everything goes as planned, the deal is expected to be announced tomorrow already. So we're going to get Kudus' announcement tomorrow. I wonder whether they'll include Mickey van der Ven in that, who was back at training today. The internationals return. Peter Gordon said now it'll be 55 base and around 65, 70 with add-ons. I've not seen anywhere actually talk about the total package, but I've not seen anywhere mention any add-ons yet either, so it'll be interesting to see when that does come out. Begging Van der Ven's in there. There's got to be some sort of content with him and Van der Ven. They did it with Romero and Richarlison, surely, and we'll come on to Romero shortly. So Florian Plettenberg has said the medical is planned. Where was it? Medical plan for Mohamed Kudus. If everything goes as planned, the deal is expected to be announced tomorrow. Contracts until 2031. Deal finalised by his new agency, Roof, who seemed like they were very much pushing for Tottenham. Obviously, yeah, you're right, Madders, actually. Everyone always forgets about Sarr in that. Captain Hot Pocket, Kevin Danso, 25 mil. Matisse Tell, 35 mil. Luka Vuskovic, 11 mil. Kota Takai, 5.8 mil. Before any pre-season with a few transfers out. What happened to Spurs? I mean, Danso was alone with an obligation. Tell, I think, yeah, very good to get the price down on that. Really talented player. Vuskovic, obviously, we bought last season. But we're making good strides in the transfer market so far. This is a good signing. It's a really good signing, and I like what we've done. Obviously, this from Fabrizio, £55 million deal in place, 6-year contract. Medical in London on Thursday. Most offensive duels, one of the top 7 leagues. He's second behind Lamine Yamal. Such a strong ball carrier, such a great dribbler, such a great duel winner, very good presser as well, which is something that goes unnoticed. And I think that people don't really think of that with Kudus because they see him as maybe... Again, it happens a lot with these kind of players, like when you talk about attitude and all that kind of thing. His attitude when he's on the pitch is absolutely top. Like, absolutely top. Again, West Ham, there needs to be an improvement on what we saw with him last year. But this guy is a gem waiting to explode, in my opinion. And I do really, really think that he is... Sorry, I was just reading a message I need to check there. He is a really good signing, And also a sort of profile that we don't have in the squad, a dribbler that pairs really nicely with our other forward options, in my opinion. When you've got wingers on the other side, say if Kudus plays on the right, you've got a winger in Tel or Son that wants to attack space on the left. If you play Kudus on the left, you've got a winger that wants to attack space on the right. And that space is then left by the bodies that Kudus attracts towards him because he's so hard to get off the ball. Really, really struggles. Really hard to shrug off the ball, sorry. Is AFCON going to be an issue next season? No. Ghana did not qualify for AFCON, which is really good. Obviously, it'll be an issue down the line, but not next season. Spurs with 2 potential Ghanaian blooded strikers on the starting lineup. How much game time do you think Luke Vuskovic will get? I'm going to do a YouTube video on Vuskovic. Also, let me know in the comments and in the chat what YouTube videos you want to see. There'll be a Son video coming in the next couple of days. A Wissa video, if that progresses, of course, as well. Some of his ball carrying from the middle to the box is perfect. Yeah, such a great ball carrier from deep. He's a very good player. A very good player. Very, very good player. But another attacker that Spurs are looking at, and make sure to smash the like button if you are a fan of the Mohamed Kudus transfer, and smash the like button as well if you're a fan of this. Tottenham are moving for Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa, who is understood to be open to a move. Tottenham weighing up the financials attached to the deal. Now, this is a very interesting one because Brentford obviously are in a position now where they are not going to want to lose big assets, given the fact they've already lost their biggest asset, if you like, to Tottenham in Thomas Frank already. Talks have been going on with Man United for Brian and Bowman. They've already lost Christian Norgard, very experienced player. And they're not going to want to lose Wissa. They're certainly not going to want to lose Wissa or Mbeumo. They're probably resigned to losing one of them. And if Spurs can move quickly on this deal, one, it takes a rival out of the game in terms of being able to get Brian Mbeumo, because I think he'll probably end up staying potentially. And two, this adds a really nice rotation option to the squad up front with Solanke, someone who is more physically durable than Richarlison as well. Look, I actually think Richarlison, in the way that Frank wants to set up and how he uses his strikers and how big he is on crosses into the box, Richarlison would be a really nice option. But I just think this is the summer that you have to move on, mainly because of his fitness and his injury problems. And I think Wissa knows exactly what Thomas Frank is going to expect of him. Look, obviously, the key thing with Frank is that, and I said this on the episode of The Lab we did earlier in terms of how he sets up at Spurs maybe, is that how does all of this scale up to playing in a team that is going to be coming up against a lot more low blocks than what Brentford did? A lot of teams wanted to be aggressive and get onto Brentford last season. So it's interesting to see how this scales up, and it'll be interesting to see how Wissa does thrive in a less transitional-based system. Obviously, it's going to be transitional at times. This would be a really smart move, in my opinion, just as a replacement for Richarlison. Like, I think this would be great. I probably wouldn't, if it was me, spend more than £35 million on this deal. I think if it's any more than that, I would probably walk away. But if you could get him for around 35 mil, I think he's 28 with 1 year left on his deal. Such good energy, a really good finisher. His shot conversion rate is really good. I think in terms of his XG over performance, or his chance conversion rate, it was one of the best in the Premier League for the last couple of seasons behind Haaland. I can do more digging into the stats. This is kind of just off the dome, to be honest, but this is kind of just from memory. Great runner in the channels, good link-up play, is able to drop in, play the ball off with his back to goal, spin and go, which is something I think Solanke needs to add to his game a little bit more to be the one that finishes off the chances as a result of his own good work, if that makes sense. I think Wissa would be great. I think Wissa and Solanke, those two up front rotating, would be really, really good. Would you rather Wissa or miss out on him and get a chance to a Belieber type player? Maybe a bit unrealistic. I do think Belieber is unrealistic, to be honest, this summer for Spurs, unfortunately. And I do, it's frustrating that is the case. Spurs need to prioritise a defensive midfielder 100%. And we haven't really seen many links yet to that. But that has to be the focus, I think. But Wissa would be a really nice addition to the squad, especially as a replacement for Richarlison. Sean said there, take whatever cash you were considering for Wissa and splash it on Wharton. Wharton's not going anywhere this summer, mate. Not to Spurs, not to Liverpool, not to Chelsea, not to Arsenal, not to Man City. They're going to demand 100 mil. No chance. Have we heard any more on Bowman? It's gone a bit quiet with United, to be honest. I feel like Polonia is a great target with his lack of game time at Bayern. Yeah. I do think we should prioritise more of a passer, though, in that midfield, but I do think he's a good option with experience. Wharton is pie in the sky shit, but as Ange say, let us dream. Yeah, I mean, Wharton, Believer would be absolutely exceptional. 50 mil is the new 25 mil. You are right there, MUDFC. Obviously, the market has gone a bit nuts. That's why I think Kudus for 55 mil, when you look at some of the other attacking options that are going around, Elanga for 55 mil, etc. I think Kudus for 55 mil represents good value in that context. Lucien Agume should be number one. Yanis, I do like Agume. Matthew Sapollet, do we need that under Ange system? Yes, but with Frank and a double pivot, a destroyer 6 isn't an absolutely must-have. Physical midfielder, yes. I think we should be prioritising someone that's more of a passer, to be honest. Someone who can break up play and progress the ball. Because we don't really have a good ball progressor in midfield. And we spoke about this on the stream a couple of days ago. A lot of them are ball carriers. I really want to see Xavi Simons. Is that a bad shout? Mate, not a bad shout at all, but now we've got Kudus over the line. There's no chance that happens. And it sounds like my prediction came true. It sounds like he might be going Bayern Munich. So, thoughts on Wissa instead of Kalimuendo? I wouldn't mind either, to be honest. I think they both offer things that Spurs lack in terms of a striker. Kalimuendo a little bit younger, cheaper, but I think Wissa knows the way Frank wants to play. Good experience, such a hard worker. I'd probably just prefer Wissa, but I wouldn't be upset if we got Kalimuendo. Can Gray not progress through passing? I think he can. Yeah, I think he can. But again, I think maybe Gray is the one. But I would like to add a bit more experience in there, especially if Basuma was to go. So we can talk about the midfield. Someone asked about a YouTube video about midfield. That will come, mate, for sure, 100%. Kudus and Kulusevski linking up with class, especially with both their strengths to hold off defenders. Krish, I agree with you on that. I think Solanke can be excellent for us next season. El Dante, I agree with you. Think it's more of a message for United with Mbemo, like him, but can't see 50 mil for Wissa. I'm not sure on what. Yeah, I did. Was it in the standard that they said they'd asked for 50 mil? If it's 50 mil, I'm walking away, to be honest. But it sounds like Tottenham. So Tottenham. This is from Sky Sports. Tottenham signing Mohamed Kudus does not impact their desire to sign more forward players this summer. The club remain keen to sign Yoane Wissa. I keep saying Wissa and Wissa. I apologise for that. The club remains keen to sign. Spurs believe a deal is there to be done for the Brentford striker, and club-to-club talks are due to commence imminently. Very interesting to see how that develops. I know some people aren't massively keen on him and feel like we don't really need him. But I think if Richarlison was to go, I think Wissa is literally the perfect replacement. A replacement that is more physically durable. That's what we need. Like I said, if Richarlison could stay fit, I think you're asking for pigs to fly, as much as I love Richie. Because I do think he would thrive on the crossing, with how key crossing is to Frank's system and setup, especially when you're sitting in against low blocks. He has that knack of finding a little bit of space in the box, but so does Wissa as well. Anyway, enough about the attackers. On to the defenders. I've got to wrap this up shortly because I'm going to go on another live on TikTok with Kish from Lily White Lab and Seb very shortly as well. So make sure to jump over to my TikTok page literally straight after this is done if you want to carry on the conversation, and make sure to go follow me over there, and make sure to subscribe if you're new. Like I said, if you're watching this post-stream, if you're watching this just as a YouTube video, then welcome to the channel, and make sure to subscribe, please. It would massively help me out. On the road to 12k subs. Want to get to 15k maybe before the start of the season. Could we? Make us dream, make us believe. I'm in a very good mood tonight, lads. Very, very, very good mood. Where did I get to? Romero. This is big, right? So Romero was back at Hotspur Way today, along with a lot of the other internationals. Obviously, this is why I love Pedro Porro as well, man. Pedro Porro, international, played in the Nations League for Spain, back early this week. All the other internationals back. Now, Van der Ven back, Adoggy back, Johnson back, Maddison back. I'm sure you've seen the content. Vicario back. as well. I'm sure you've seen the content the Spurs have been putting out. Some great stuff as usual from Hannah, the admin. And Romero is one of those ones. And apparently, guys, according to a very reliable source in Spain, bear with me one sec. According to a very reliable source in Spain, I've just completely lost my OBS then. Atletico Madrid have now grown tired in their pursuit of Christian Romero and have now given up their attempts to sign him. Tottenham's response has always been blunt. They weren't going to sell Romero, and Atleti are now looking at different options. For DRIOAS are now coming out saying Coutinho Romero will not sign for Atletico Madrid. There was another thing from Fabrizio that said there's been no offer. Alistair Gold said this the other day as well. There's been no official approach from any clubs for Christian Romero. And I think Spurs have held firm over the price tag, and it looks like it's worked. And it looks like we'll be getting Romero for another season, which is big going into the Champions League. If Son was to leave, would probably be the club captain. I'm not sure if Son's going to leave now, I'll be totally honest. And we're going to talk about that in another video later on this week. But this is positive news, guys. This is really positive stuff. Romero not leaving. Kudus signing. Potentially Wissa as well. Players starting to be moved out the door. First pre-season game on the horizon. Reading away. Who's going to be there? Let me know in the chat if you're going to be at Reading away. I'll be there. I think every season ticket holder who applied got a ticket. Allocation 4,100. Our away support is very good, isn't it, lads? Sean, Romero should be made captain regardless. I don't disagree. If we played the Super Cup right now, how many would PSG win by? 5, 6, 7. I think you meant to say how many would Spurs win by. Conlef. How much we should value Romero if he leaves? I think it sounds like they're valuing him around 70 million. 11 days, can't wait. I'll be there at Reading. Very much looking forward to it. Would love to see Son end his career at Spurs. Yeah, I would as well. I think he deserves to go out on his own terms. But also, I think if we got a decent offer for him this summer and then look to buy another attacker to replace him, I would probably do it, to be honest. What number will Kudus take? That's a good point, actually. That's an interesting point you raise. Thoughts on Odebear's game time? Again, I think there'll be plenty of game time for the wingers next season. Although I think Odebear, as much as I'm a big fan of him, you guys know that, I do think we need to see a little bit more personality creep through, a little bit more hunger. Like, I think Tell needs to rub off on him a little bit. It's something that I said during the under 21 Euros. 11 will be for Kudus when Hill leaves. Very good point. No, Tell's 11, isn't he? Tell's 11. Imagine Kudus in the away shirt could be an instant cop depending on number. Have we got a number 20? I'm just going to quickly check our. Don't want to get sidetracked, but I like these kind of conversations. I think they're fun. Tottenham Hotspur. Right, we want to check that out, and we also want to check this out as well. Bear with. Like I said, guys, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe button if you are new. Massively would help me out. So I'm just pulling up something here. I just want to have a quick look. So this is the current state of our squad number situation. Accidentally FaceTime someone then. What attacking sort of numbers are free? Maddison obviously 10, Son 7, Richarlison 9. Maybe if Richie goes, Solanke might get 9. Or Wissa, if he signs, might get 9. Tell obviously 11. Doggy 13. Doggy might go to 3 potentially. Gray 14, Bergvall 15, Romero 17. 20 is free. So it could be 20. Like I said, he had that at Ajax. It could be 20. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Here were the players back from training. The likes of Romero, Johnson, Van der Ven, Rodrigo, Bentancur, Richarlison, Ben Davis, all back. There's Kuti, first pick. Mickey laughing. I thought all the Spurs players were supposed to be like revolting or something. I thought they were all supposed to be like really angry about Ange getting sacked. But no, there's Mickey. Look at him. He's such a gorgeous bloke. Rodrigo Bentancur there as well. Kevin Danso. Brennan Johnson again, ole, ole, in the chat, please. Eve Basuma, Romero again, Richarlison, Sarr, Udogie, Richarlison, Ben Davis, Brennan Johnson, shorter hair, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Ben Davis, Manos Solomon, Kevin Danso, Richarlison, Ben Davis, and yeah, Bash. So yeah, Romero looks like hopefully he's staying at Spurs, which is really positive. Johnson again, LA, or we get Wissa and he wears 18. Yang is 18, but I'd imagine he'll probably go out on loan. Bit of a rogue shout, but I reckon Richie will impress Frank in pre-season. That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. A 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 looks like it's going to be the primary formations with Son, Solanke and Kudus up front. Gray, Bergvale's double pivot with Madison Kudus in the 10. Behind front 3, back 4, picks it. I've got a video on my YouTube channel talking about how I think Spurs might set up under Thomas Frank. Like I said, I've also got a video about Mohamed Kudus, so make sure to go and watch that. There's the Frank video. We also did an episode of The Lab as well today on how Frank might set up and how Kudus fits into that as well. So go and listen to that to get my thoughts on that. Coaching appointments have been made. Some really exciting coaches added to the team. Matt Wells is staying. This was all announced yesterday, or I think it was on Monday, sorry, actually. Justin Cochran, first-team assistant coach. Chris Haslam, head of performance and first-team assistant coach. Andres Georgeson, first-team assistant coach, who I'm pretty sure will be focusing on set pieces. He came from Manchester United, previously at Arsenal, I think, as well. Joe Newton, first-team coach analysis, and Matt Wells will remain on. Matt Wells very well liked within the club and also very highly rated. In addition, we welcome Cameron Campbell as first-team individual development coach and Fabian Otte as first-team goalkeeper coach, arriving at following spells at Leipzig and Liverpool, respectively. Stuart Lewis has also been promoted into a academy transition role, I believe. Furthermore, we're pleased to announce Stuart Lewis, but yeah, Stuart is now first-team academy transition coach following 4 successful years leading our under-18s. This is really positive, I think, to help those under-18s, under-19s, etc., under-21 players make that transition to the first team. Has been very successful winning the under-18 and under-17 Premier League Cups with Spurs. So yeah, really, really good stuff from Spurs. I'm excited about Justin Cochran, what he can bring. There's a good video on Spurs' YouTube channel as well, kind of with Frank and Langer talking about the coaches. What else we got to talk about? Maxime Esteve, interesting one. Yesterday, attracting interest from several clubs this summer, but no approaches/talks with Tottenham so far. Spurs are currently focused on different targets. I don't think those different targets necessarily mean different defender targets. I think it just means different targets in general, and obviously Spurs have got Kudus over the line now. So hopefully now we can maybe crack on with. I think a defensive midfielder is the one I think we need to crack on with. I do think that is really, really important. Defensive depth. Esteve is an interesting one because I do think him and Van der Ven could potentially, like, when I first saw this yesterday, I really like Esteve, and if this does materialise, then there will be a YouTube video on it. But I did say that I think a left-sided centre-back that can play at left-back, like that hybrid kind of role, would probably be my preference. But Esteve apparently did play as a left-back at times during his youth development phase. Van der Ven, we know, can do that as well. So maybe they want to add another centre-back depth that can compete and be deputy to Van der Ven, because obviously we know what his injury record is like, and Esteve would be the perfect profile to do that. But we'll see what happens with that. Anything else to talk about? Not massively. Let's just look at it one more time. Mohamed Kudus to Spurs. Here we go. Let's just quickly get any questions in quick. I have got to jump onto this TikTok live now, so make sure to follow me over there if you want to carry on the conversation. If you just go to the link in my bio, go to my TikTok page, or just search Ben Bowman. I just nearly threw my sunglasses at you. You'll find the live. I'll be live with Kish and Seb. Who are the priority outgoings for you? I do think Richarlison probably. Basuma, I think probably as well for me. Although I think Basuma could actually really work nicely in this system, but I just think one of those players to get in a defensive midfielder that is a really good passer, a deep passer, to help progress the ball and break play up as well, a profile that we don't have. I think one of them has to be sacrificed. I think Basuma makes the most amount of sense, considering Bentancur, with the experience he's got, sounds like he's signing a new deal. Who would be my dream 6? I think there's a lot of names out there, man. A lot of names. Lucien Agume from Sevilla on the younger end, Paulinho on the slightly older end. Obviously Wharton and Belieber, but that's just not realistic. Stiller as well, I think would be nice. There's a lot of names out there, man. For me, it's Richie. Oh, Brian Hill, obviously. Solomon, I think, obviously, there's no place for him in the squad. Douglas Luiz is not a bad shout. I do like Douglas Luiz. Next Darren and Doing pod. We'll try and get one in this week, mate. I'm at the cricket on Friday, and I'm quite busy tomorrow, so probably not. But we'll definitely try and squeeze one in. Maybe over the weekend or something. If not, definitely early next week, mate. Darren and Doing will be back. Don't worry. Good to see a black coach at senior level. Love the diversity of Spurs. Transition coach also very good, especially as Brentford don't have one, but Frank has youth coaching experience. I agree. Totally agree, mate. Think it's really beneficial buying from outside the Prem nowadays. The Prem tax is real. I agree, Ludwig, which is why I think Kudus all in is a very good bit of value compared to some of the other signings that are floating about. Madueke is a player that I like, by the way, for 55 mil. Alanga for 55 mil. Kudus for 55 mil is the best value, 100%. Matt, you're a legend, mate. Absolute legend. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. I massively appreciate you guys jumping on. Late notice, no announcement of the stream. We just jumped on, did this, talked about Kudus, etc. Like I said, these streams will be more regular throughout the summer transfer window. Now that the wheels are really in motion, we're going to be back to business. I massively appreciate all the support on YouTube, on TikTok, across everything. You guys are absolute legends, and I don't take it for granted, you people that watch my content and get involved with it. Go and listen to the 2 new episodes of The Lab that I was on as well. I'm going to be back on Zach Jalab's channel tomorrow, video out Friday. Make sure to go and subscribe to that. Go and give some support to your boy as well. TikTok, make sure to go follow. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great evening, or wherever you are in the world, great morning, or whenever you're watching this. I appreciate a lot of you. And Mohamed Kudus is a Tottenham Hotspur player. Up the Spurs. Nice one. Make sure to subscribe and like as well. Love ya.